How do you feel about divorce? Sometimes it's necessary for people on a quest of self-realization, or it's an evil of our times.
People only think of their immediate selfish happiness. Oh God, what kind of sad person would think that? That's really sad.
Screw the second one. Sometimes it's necessary.
Oh man, rough. I think it's absolutely necessary for people. That's no question about it.
My parents are divorced, my mum and dad. It happened when I was 5. I don't remember it that much at all. And I think it was the best thing for it.
I think it's definitely necessary for people sometimes.
I think children of divorced parents, 9 times out of 10, are the real victims of divorce. Having been in that position myself in the past. However, I think sometimes it's necessary.
I think it is quite selfish as well, eh?
Yeah.
Like, especially if there's children involved.
Yeah.
My brothers are much older than me, so they were 12 and 14 at the time of the divorce. So it hit them a lot harder than it hit me. So I feel like if you were to ask them, you would get a different response than if you were to ask me.
I think sometimes it's necessary for people. I wish that it didn't have to be necessary.
Could you be happy without any religious beliefs? Yes. Me personally, I am not a very religious person, and I think I'm okay.
Some other people, they would be happy since atheists, you know? Yeah, atheists. But like, yeah, I wouldn't be happy without it, honestly.
No, we're like both pretty devoted Catholics, so yeah.
Already am.
Yes.
I'm not religious, so yes.
It's kind of interesting though, because we both grew up from Christian backgrounds, really.
I grew up in a very religious family.
Yeah.
The Simpsons were the devil, Shortland Street was evil.
I believe in something that's bigger than us. Maybe it's just about hoping that there's something after death, I suppose, that I don't just fade away into nowhere and become nothing.
I don't know, I'm ambivalent about it. I haven't really always been kind of connected to religion. Kind of recently trying to like learn about my religion and like spirituality and that kind of stuff. So I don't know if it's a yes or no at this point.
I don't even think it's a question for me. I know that there's like something beyond us, and whether that's Eo Matua Kore, whether that's God, whether that's Allah, whatever anyone believes in, yeah, there's definitely a higher power.
Could you be happy without having any children? Nah. Procreation, that's the meaning of life.
No. I want like 5.
5? Max 3.
Well, to be honest, before I had my son, I thought I could be happy without having any children. Like, because I was like, everyone would always ask me, do you want to have a kid? And I was like, I don't know. And then I realised, wow, it's a completely different level of love. Like, yeah, you would never experience that with anyone else.
I'm going to say no, because I've always liked the notion of one day having kids.
I would say yes. I don't know, I feel like I'm at that stage where I was like, I'm not having kids or whatever. My mum's like, nah, you'll change your mind when you're older.
I could just be happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they come, it's a gift. If they don't, then I guess I'm getting a puppy.
This has been a weird one. Been thinking like a lot about it, but you know, when I was a kid, I was always like, yeah, I want to have kids. I've just kind of flip-flops depending on how old I am at the time, whatever I'm, feeling, Babies are super cool when you can give them back.
Yes, 100%. I don't want children. So yes, I could be happy.
It's like, I don't want to have kids. The world's in crisis because of too many people, not enough resources.
How do you see yourself in the future? Engaged? For as long as it lasts, with shared custody of the children if we split up.
It's very specific.
Wow. With no children, married if possible but without children, single parenting with children but no partner, on my own with no children and in a relationship, married with children. There's no with children but probably not married.
The cost of weddings just puts me off, so just as I am now, just in a long-term relationship.
That one.
Engaged for as long as it lasts, with shared custody of the children if we split up.
I am not in the mindset where I could even think about children right now.
Happily married. No, happily married with children. That's an important distinction.
In the distant future, like the next maybe like 10 years, I would like to be married, sure. Maybe not with children, but like thinking about it.
I would like to see myself married with children, I guess, having a family.
I think at this point it's probably like, I don't know, I think married with children as well.
Yeah, it seems like it's too early
to think about it.
In the immediate future, I see myself working, being on my own, not in a relationship. But in the long-term future, there's a part of me that does see myself married with kids.
For me, marriage is a really important thing. So, how are you?
Yeah. I mean, it is the dream, but at the same time, I wouldn't be mad if it's not for me.
I reckon a lot of people like these days don't like really think marriage is such a big deal anymore. It's more like having like a long-term partner than marriage. I would rather get married though myself.
Yeah.
Like it's probably my dream.
Yeah.
Like to get married one day.
I wouldn't put it as strongly as like a requirement, but it is kind of expected. My mom's already been talking about it. She's like, this is what we're gonna do at your wedding. This is the food that's gonna be there, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's something that they expect will happen and they want it to happen soon, but I don't.
I definitely know that if I got engaged, my mum and his mum would start like scheming away of how they could make this their second wedding.
Yeah.
Living together and having children are much more important.
Yeah.
There are deep expressions of a lifelong commitment of love that you can make to someone that are more meaningful than marriage.
Definitely that it's a piece of paper one. I would get married, you know, but it sounds so cheesy.
Yeah, I'm one of those like, you know, millennials who's all, it's a piece of paper that doesn't mean anything anymore. I think it's a bit of a weird like contract that's a little bit archaic now. I think the whole relationship thing is evolving into something different now, at least in our generation.
I like the idea of having a big boozy party, like.
Yeah, I like the idea of a
booze up.
party, but I don't really like the idea of walking down the aisle and everyone staring at you. That freaks me out.
At the end of the day, it is just a piece of paper, you know? Like, there are definitely benefits, like tax benefits, that's great, you know? And it could be kind of cool just to, like, go like, oh, yes, my wife is over here, you know, the whole language of it, but yeah, it's one of those things, take it or leave it.